إنك تهدي من تشاء إلى صراط مستقيم وانصرنا به على عدوك وعدونا إله الحق. آمين. اللهم إنا نشكو إليك فقد نبينا صلواتك عليه وآله وغيبة ولينا وكثرة عدونا وقلة عددنا وشدة الفتن بنا وتظاهر الزمان علينا، فصل على محمد وآله وعنا على ذلك بفتح منك تعجله وبضر تكشفه ونصر تعزه وسلطان حق تظهره ورحمة منك تجللنا وعافية منك تلمسنا برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين.
علي ولي الله يا مولاي، علي ولي الله يا مولاي، علي ولي الله يا مولاي، علي ولي الله يا مولاي. نادي عليا مظهر العجائب، نادي عليا مظهر العجائب، تجده عونا لك في النوائب، تجده عونا لك في النوائب. كل هم وغم سينجلي، كل هم وغم سينجلي بعظمتك يا الله، بنبوتك يا محمد، بولايتك يا علي 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 يا علي. علي حبه جنة قسم النار والجنة، وصي المصطفى حقا إمام الإنس والجنة. علي حبه جنة قسم النار والجنة، وصي المصطفى حقا إمام الإنس والجنة.
علی همای رحمت تو چه آیتی خدا را که به آسبا فکندی همه سایه هما را.
علی همای رحمت تو چه آیتی خدا را که به آسبا فکندی همه سایه هما را. دل اگر خدا شناسی همه در رخ علی بین، به علی شناختم من به خدا قسم خدا را، به علی شناختم من به خدا قسم خدا را.
به جز از
که آرد به سری ابوالعجائب
که علم کند به عالم شهدای کربلا را، که علم کند به عالم شهدای کربلا را. نه خدا توانمش کن، نه بشر توانمش کن، متحیرم چه نامم شه ملک لافتا را، متحیرم چه نامم شه ملک لافتا را. علی ولی الله یا مولاي.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept your amal and your efforts in the month of Ramadan. Just once again, I would like to invite everyone, every community member to join us in a collaboration between our communities and share your videos of yourself, your children, your family members. This is not just limited to children, but of course we want to encourage their participation to record a video of their short recitation of Quran, dua, supplication. Even if you want to congratulate month of Ramadan with your family, just with following the Islamic etiquette and making sure that the video quality is good and the audio is also good. So we can use these videos, and after editing them, we can share them, inshallah, with the community and broadcast them in our programs. The platform you can upload your videos is socalramadan.com. Socal Ramadan is spelled Ramadan, and socalramadan.com. You can upload your videos, and if you have any feedback, even if you don't have any video but you have feedback regarding our programs, please go to the same website and you can also post your feedback. We would appreciate it. Inshallah, we will implement those feedbacks that are constructive and are helpful, definitely. So once again, I would like to encourage everyone to share videos of their children, themselves, their family members, reciting Quran, reciting supplication, but short, maybe a minute or 2 or 3 minutes maximum, and then upload them to socalramadan.com. And after, inshallah, receiving these videos, we will edit them and we will use them during our Ramadan live program every night, inshallah. Thank you so much for paying attention and tuning in to our programs. And please convey this message and share this message with the rest of the community, that hopefully we can have, inshallah, participation of everyone in the community. Jazakumullah khair. Ramadan once again Mubarak. Keep us in your du'as and prayers. And now, inshallah, we will go and pay attention and listen to our respected guest speech, respected guest scholar speech. Thank you so much for your time. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله الذي خلق الخلائق بقدرته ونشر الرياح برحمته ووتد بالصخور ميدان أرضه ثم الصلاة والسلام على النير الأعظم ونتيجة العالم أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم سيما الحجة بقية الله في الأراضين روحي وأرواح العالمين لتراب مقدمه فداء. Dear brothers and sisters, Salamun alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. It is a real pleasure to be with you in this blessed month of Ramadan, and I hope that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help all of us, right, and give all of us the opportunity of fasting, a real fast that's not only not eating and not drinking, but it's also a fast that captures the whole reality and the whole philosophy of fasting. The topic that I've decided to talk about these nights is a topic that I think worth paying a lot of attention in the blessed months of Ramadan. In the blessed months of Ramadan, we have more time, especially when we are in quarantine, to think and reflect and go deeper to some of the things that we do and be a little bit critical and ask questions and ask the accuracy of the a'mal and the acts of worship that we do. So that's why I decided to dedicate these nights to talk about the zahir and the batin of our a'mal, to give examples of some of the acts of worship that we do and ask questions. Is that accurate? Is that correct? What is the real meaning of that action? How we should do it? Or what is the misconception that we have about this concept? So we are talking about the esoteric and exoteric dimensions of our a'mal, the outer, the shell, the surface of our a'mal, and also the inner, the deeper, the philosophy, the core of our a'mal. You're going to compare these two different layers, to compare the zahir dimension and the batin dimension. The problem that we have, especially in our communities, is that because our notion of worship is very ritualistic, normally when we come together as a community, we emphasize on the ritual aspect of things. And what happens is that by emphasizing on the ritual aspects of things, this becomes a habit. And eventually, day by day, years after another, what happens is that we forget the whole reality of that thing. That's why, inshallah, in these nights, we're going to talk about the zahir and the batin of our a'mal. To do so, we have a lot of case studies. If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help us, we're going to cover 10 case studies in these nights. In these 5 sessions, we're going to cover 10 case studies, meaning we say 10 examples, go and count what is the zahir, what is the mistake, what is the superficial understanding, and then we go to inner aspect and the real meaning, which I think that is the accurate meaning of that concept. If that's understandable, if I was able to communicate the whole idea of zahir and batin, the esoteric and the exoteric dimension of our a'mal, now I think we delve into the examples. The examples that I have selected for tonight is, of course, it is the blessed months of Ramadan. We do a lot of dua. So the first question is, what is the superficial understanding of dua? And again, when I say superficial understanding, I'm not going to reject it. No, that ritualistic aspect, that first class has to be there, right? But we are going to go deeper. So I'm not critiquing the first layer. I just want to go a little bit deeper into the meaning of dua. So what is the superficial understanding of dua? The superficial understanding of dua, which is of course an act of worship that according to many of our verses is wajib. Before going to this, let me between parentheses mention this, that in our understanding, we think dua is mustahab, meaning that, okay, it's good to do it. Well, if you did it, did it. If you didn't do it, it's fine. But in our ahadith, and according to some of the verses of Quran, dua, meaning coming to the door of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, is wajib. Let me recite for you this ayah from Surah Al-Mu'min, verse number 40, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, وَقَالَ رَبُّكُمْ أُدْعُونِي أَسْتَجِبْ لَكُمْ. And your Lord said, Udu'uni, ask me, and I respond to you, أَسْتَجِبْ لَكُمْ. right? And then he continues. He says, "Inna alladhina yastakbiruna an ibadati," the people who reject to do my ibadah. So first, he's calling dua ibadah, because the next sentence after the first one is this: "Inna alladhina yastakbiruna an ibadati sayadkhuluna jahannama dakhirin." They are gonna go to the hellfire, right? So the question is, if dua is mustahab, what does it mean for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to say the people who do not do this are going to go to hellfire? So according to this verse, and also the sharh, the tafsir of this ayah in Sahifa Sajjadiyah, the dua number 26, where Imam Sajjad alayhi salam explains and gives the tafsir of this ayah. It says, وَتَوَعَدْتَ أَن تَرْكَهُ دُخُولَ جَهَنَّمَ. And you said, if you don't pray, and here pray is not the 5 daily prayers, pray means dua here, right? So, أَن تَرْكَهُ دُخُولَ جَهَنَّمَ, the hellfire. So that's one aspect which talks about the necessity of dua, the necessity of finding something and calling and asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for it, right? So that's number one. So dua. What is dua? Dua is the intermediate aspect between nida and munajat. Munajat is when you are very, very, very close to someone and you're kind of whispering, right? When you are whispering in Arabic, that's munajat. When you go far away and you're basically shouting, that's nida. But in intermediate, which is in the middle, that's dua, right? So what is the superficial understanding of dua? The superficial understanding of dua is this, is for me to see what other people were praying, right? And I do the same way that they were doing. So for example, what our A'imma alayhimus salam said on Wednesday, I will do it on Wednesday. What our A'imma alayhimus salam said and prayed on Tuesday, I will say it on Tuesday. And what they asked on Friday, I will do it on Friday as well. So what's going on here is that I see what other people or even other ulama do, and then I come and follow. Well, it's good, it's correct, but it's not accurate. It's not accurate. Why? Because we are missing the whole philosophy of dua. Because we are missing the whole meaning of dua. Why? Because of the following. What is dua? Dua is the end of a process, right? What do I mean by the end of a process? Dua is asking, is calling for a need, right? So what is the first? The first is that you are aware of a need. I am aware that I need this, okay? As soon as I'm aware, the more conscious I am, please pay attention, the more conscious I am about my need, I start constantly thinking about that need. When I start constantly thinking about that need, I want it. So I see the beauty of that thing, I want it. And when I want it, I utter it. I say it. I ask for it. So that asking for it is the dua. So what was the beginning? It was not just, someone said it and I say it. No. It was the beginning of this process, was feeling a need inside. Being worried that I'm missing something. I need something. And when I need it, I miss it, I see the importance of it, I start asking, and that asking is dua. That is the dua. A dua comes out of a need. A real need makes a real dua. when there is no need, or when there is no awareness of a need, that dua is just laghlaghe zaban, meaning it's just the play of tongue. It's not real. So, you know, what's happening here is that when you don't feel hungry, right? If you take your kids to a mall, and then like half an hour ago, they had lunch. You took them to a restaurant, they had lunch. It's just half an hour later, you are in the mall, and he or she start asking of food, right? What happens here is that you know that dua, that asking for food, that's not real. Why? Because you know that it's coming out of tongue. It doesn't have any reality. That reality, that need doesn't exist there. If you don't feel hungry and start asking for food, that dua doesn't have any basis. The same is when you don't feel lost, if you start asking for guidance, isn't that dua superficial? If you don't feel you are lost, it's exactly like feeling you're not hungry. When you're not hungry and you're asking for food, that dua is just superficial. The same is for guidance. And when you continue here, right? When you continue here, you feel that many of the acts of worship, many of the du'as that we do, right, is actually very superficial. So let me read for you a part of Dua Joshan Kabir. A part of Dua Joshan Kabir is saying the same thing. If there is no need, there is no real dua. That's the basic of the core philosophy of dua, right? It says in the section 59 of Dua Joshan Kabir, it says, Ya Habiba man la Habiba lah. It says, you are the Habib, but for whom? For the person who felt that he doesn't have a Habib. He realized he needs a Habib. And when he realized that, you are the response, right? And then he continues, he says, Ya Tabiba man la Tabiba lah. You are Tabib. But for whom? You are Tabib for the person who feels it, who feels the need for it, who feels that there is no other Tabib in this universe other than you. Ya Mujiba man la Mujiba lah. You are the one who responds. You are Mujib. But for whom? For the person who realized that he doesn't have any Mujib other than you. The same, Ya Shafiqa man la Shafiqa lah, Ya Mughitha man la Mughitha lah, Ya Dalila man la Dalila lah. You are showing the path. But to whom? To the person who felt that he is lost. If I am not lost, or at least if I don't feel that I am lost, if I'm asking for guidance, that doesn't make any sense. I don't mean don't ask for guidance. I mean, realize that you are lost, and then your dua would be a real dua. And then he continues, Ya Anisa man la Anisa lah, Ya Rahima man la Rahima lah, Ya Sahiba man la Sahiba lah. So what I'm trying to mention here is the whole philosophy and the start of the prayer, of the dua. Let me explain this a little bit more. The dua is the container of the response. That need, that the bowl of begging, that need is the container for the response. If you don't have the bowl, if you don't have the container, it is impossible for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to respond it, because prayer, the real dua, is half of the response. If there is no real need, it's impossible for a response. Are you following? If you are not asking for real, you don't have the container, you don't have the zarfiyah, you don't have the bowl for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to get to fill it out, to feel for you to feel the response, you need a real dua. So it is impossible for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give a response if there is no real need, right? So the question now is that, okay, Rajawa, you made it even more difficult. Up till now, I was thinking, well, this person made this beautiful dua and I will do it. Now you are saying that's not enough. Go and see if you have the same need. What about if I'm not feeling any need? What about if I'm not feeling I am lost? What about if I don't see any need? I am fulfilled. I don't need any need. I don't need anything in my life. I don't feel it. Well, that's the main problem. That is the main problem. If you don't feel you are lost, that means the heart is so rusted that it's not even able to feel that it's lost. How you can feel it? I think one of the ways is being around people who are passionate about Iman. If you are living with people who are passionate about Iman, if you are living with people who are already there, I think their influence, their passion makes you to feel that you are missing something. Their acts makes you to feel you're missing something. If you're around those people, if you're in connection with those people, you feel that they are different. And by that, by comparing yourself to them, it is then that you feel that, I am missing something. I need that. And then you start praying, right? That prayer is a real prayer. So next time when you come to me and you ask me, well, Hana, what is a real dua? What is a good dua for me to recite? My question would be, what do you need? Next time when you wanted to recite dua Kumaid, start reflecting on the dua and ask yourself, am I just following the words of Imam Ali alayhi salam, or I also share the need that he felt, and the reason that I'm asking is because I share the same need. It's not because he said these words and I am following in the words. No, I feel that I have the same need, and because we have the same need, I follow the dua. If you don't do that, it would be like going to a pharmacy and picking up one medicine and saying, oh, that person is using this medicine, I should use it too. No, you shouldn't use that medicine if you don't have that need. So that again, it starts from a need. And if you're missing that need, you're missing the whole philosophy of dua. So probably reading the biography of our ulama, reading the biography of our scholars, or being in contact with these people who are passionate about their iman, makes you feel that you are lost, makes you feel what you need, right? And then eventually your dua becomes, inshallah, then your dua becomes real. So one of the du'as that it's mustahab to do these nights is, it's mustahab to do in Sahar, but of course, in the blessed months of Ramadan, you have this opportunity more. So tonight, if you had the opportunity, go to your balcony and start asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Probably this is a need that we all share. Allahumma la taj'al ad-dunya أكبر همنا ولا تجعل مصيبتنا في ديننا. Ya Allah, do not let the lower desires to be my greatest concern. That's the problem. Our lowest desires sometimes are our greatest concerns. And if we are not paying attention that what we are looking for, eventually the real dua is our real desires. We don't see anything beyond that. We start seeing it when we become, inshallah, associated with people with more iman, or start reading their stories and their lives. So we'll continue, inshallah, the same discussion. As I said, I have 10 case studies here that inshallah I'm going to cover in these 5 nights. The first one was dua that we talked about. The second one is istijaba. What is the meaning of istijaba? What is the superficial meaning of istijaba? And what is the real meaning of istijaba? This is something that we're going to talk about tomorrow night. And inshallah, if we got time, we talk about the third case study, which is tawassul, which is what is the superficial understanding of tawassul, and what is the real meaning or the inner meaning or the bottom of tawassul. These are the 2 other case studies that we are going to cover tomorrow night, inshallah. And I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as we are fasting in these blessed days, and as we have more time during the blessed months of Ramadan, to help us to be critical, to help us to ask questions and find the real philosophy and the core of the a'mal that we do. Barakat salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Okay, so let's go and see if we have any questions here. And if there is any question here. Okay, there is one question here, and it says, is asking, how do we find them? How do we find people who are God-fearing? How are we able to find these people? Well, don't feel that you are very different from the time of Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Don't feel like that, because many times these questions come from thinking they were in a very better time. There were a lot of good mu'mineen, muttaqeen, scholars in those days, and we don't have them anymore. I don't believe in this. The meaning and the application of taqwa, the meaning and the application of taqwa in different times differ. So the meaning of taqwa in 21st century has totally changed by the application of taqwa in the 1st century, right? In the 7th century, which was the beginning of Islam. So the application has changed. But don't think that you are in different position than them. No, the person, like since Salman had this desire in his mind that I really want to find the truth. He started his journey from city to city, from even region to region, until he found Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Nowadays, it's even easier. You can get to these people through their writing, through their speeches, through their I even think that sometimes you don't really need to meet these people, because I think reading about them is enough for us to get passionate, because what you really need is that to see what they have and then say, what I'm missing. So don't think that it's very difficult comparing ourselves, our time, to the time of prophets alayhimus salam. So this says, what is the relationship between esoteric concept and irfan? Well, it is actually the same thing. So very, very, very good question. So what is the relationship between esoteric dimension and irfan is that it's basically, it's not the same thing, but they are correlating in the sense that that irfan is the istilahi, the technical meaning of it is that when you go from the ritual, from the ritualistic aspects of something to the core philosophy of it, right? You go to the tariqah, from the sharia, which is the surface, you go deep inside the ocean, which is irfan. But what we need to understand is that the esoteric dimension and the exoteric dimension, the fiqhi aspect and the irfani aspect, the zahir and the batin of our a'mal, the zahir of our salat and the batin of our salat, they are not two different realities. That's the problem. Many of us think that, oh, there is a contradiction between the zahir and the batin, between the zahir of our salat and the batin of our salat, between fiqh and irfan. Many of us think that there is a contradiction between the two. That's not the case. These are two dimensions of the same reality. Without protecting the core, you don't have the core, right? So that it is the shell which protects the core. And if there is no core, what is the shell that is protecting? So it's like the two sides of the same coin. It's not two different realities. Our problem in our communities is that normally, because a community is like a group which are residing, rehearsing, or singing together, right? When you're praying Salat al-Jama'ah, right? Salat al-Jama'ah to me is when a community come together and they start this singing together and worshiping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala through these acts of worship, right? This, if you don't pay attention, because you want to, everyone is doing it at the same time and you have to follow, basically, if you don't pay attention, the risk of it is that you may lose the philosophy, you may lose the huzur al-qalb, right? But at the same time, you can't miss it. You have to have the both at the same time. The reason that I am mentioning more the inner aspect is because I think the risk of community worship is losing the philosophy, because community normally protects the shell, and protecting the core is your own individual responsibility. It is very hard for a community to practice the inner dimension, right? It is your own journey that you have to practice it. So let's, I think this is, up till now we answered, oh, alhamdulillah. Let me do one more and then inshallah we go, we continue the questions inshallah tomorrow night. Oh, okay, what should I do to better concentrate during my prayers? I give you a couple of tips, but this is not going to solve the problem. In the last session, we will come to prayer, the superficial, the zahir understanding of salat, and the core philosophy and the meaning of salat. We'll come there. But as of now, I give you only a couple of tips. Number one is that the reason that we don't have hudur al-qalb in our salat is that salat has become a habit for us, right? And when it's a habit, the problem with it is that we basically practice distraction in our salats. Let me explain more. You know, our salat right now is a habit, meaning that we start with Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, and continue the same thing every day. And without paying attention to our salat, we practice this and practice this and practice this. So a salat with distraction has been practiced for a couple of years or decades in our life. So basically, a new nature has been created for me, which is distraction. I have been practicing distraction in my salah, and the more I practice it, the more I am strong in being distracted. Are you following? So for that to respond to that, I think we need to break this habit and make it different. What do I mean make it different? So our salat has parts which we are not able to customize, and has parts that we are able to customize. So number one, I think, is to customize your salat, meaning that do a different surah, do a different zikr in your ruku. You don't need necessarily to say subhanallah, subhanallah, alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah, or any other zikr. Just say the zikr that you like. Just say the zikr that you enjoy. That's number one. Change your surah, change your zikr, change your dua, change your qunut. Make it relevant to your life. Make it relevant to your day. Make your qunut a qunut that's relevant to your day. If you change that, you're basically breaking that habit, right? If you break that habit, that is one step, one way of coming to huzur al-qalb. But as I said, this is not going to solve the main problem. The main problem is the way that we have conceptualized salat in our mind. That we'll talk about it, inshallah, in the fifth session. Okay, let's see one more, and then inshallah. It says, let's say we are reciting Dua Kumail and we feel as if the need is gone. Should we stop? Something we can be convinced of our need. Sometimes we can be convinced of our need, but heart doesn't feel it. Okay, look, you don't need to stop, but I will change the dua. If you are in the middle of dua salah and dua kumail, right? And then you feel, I am not in a good mood. I don't feel it. Change that feeling to a dua. Immediately say and share that with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Immediately, and say, Ya Allah, see, I am in the middle of Dua Kumail and I am so lost that I don't even know what I am looking for. I am so lost that I don't know what should I ask. That is the best prayer. That is what you need. Change that. So what I'm trying to say is that Dua Kumail session is just a platform, is a very, very good platform for you to bring your heart and body and then start reflecting. And as soon as you're lost, you just ask it. Because you just felt that you're lost. That feeling that you don't know what to ask, that's just the best prayer. So I would say don't stop in a sense that you leaving the session. No. Change what you need to ask and ask that from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and then continue. And if you're not in mood to continue, it's fine. But don't like cheat, because sometimes is that we ask ourselves and say, oh, I'm not in the mood of dua, and then dua is not wajib, oh, let me go. No, it's not like that. If you start cheating yourself, you lose the core and the shell altogether, right? You are here to receive the core, and then all of a sudden you lost the core and the shell at the same time. No, you want to go and dive deeper. That's why I don't think that you need to stop and leave the session. Just change the dua and the prayer. Okay, I think it's enough for tonight. We have, I think, about 5 more questions that I will try to respond to as many as I can, inshallah, tomorrow night. And from here, I would say, pray for me, and I will pray for you as well. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help all of us to be able to understand the real philosophy of all of the acts of worship that He has recommended us to do. Barakat salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. It was great to communicate with you guys. See you tomorrow night, inshallah.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم اللهم أصلح عبدك وخليفتك بما أصلحت به أنبياءك ورسلك وحفه بملائكتك وأيده بروح القدس من عندك واسلكه من بين يديك ومن خلفه رصدا يحل السوء وأبدله من بعد خوفه أمنا يعبدك لا يشرك بك شيئا ولا تجعل لأحد من خلقك على وليك سلطانا وأذله في جهاد عدوك وعدوه واجعلني من أنصاره إنك على كل شيء قدير.